welcome back for another watch list video. I'm going to be scrolling through what I'm going to watch for tomorrow and kind of the rest of the week, see if we have some nice setups on the daily time frame, and I'll set my alerts for tomorrow once the market opens. So on the screen here we have QQQ. I always start off with the index, QQQ, and SPY. I like to just mark out the highs and lows of the previous candle. That's kind of what I'm looking for. To break high, I'd be looking for calls. If we break lower and kind of look for a pullback area, that's been kind of the trend on the market lately, is a lot of pullback long plays. So if that decides to happen again tomorrow, I'll stay patient and look for a nice entry for some more upside. The market's been doing phenomenal lately, up and to the right. That's name of the game as of late. So looking to do the same thing tomorrow. I haven't been trading the best lately. Honestly, around all-time highs, I always I'm not very savvy with trading all-time highs. The stocks go up, and then I don't really have like a take price target. I know I should just be riding some of these stocks up, but for whatever reason, I kind of fumble the bag and fumble around when it gets to all-time highs. So not doing the best. However, I am keeping my losses small. And I'm just playing my setups, just looking for that break and retest every single time. Moving on to SPY, I'll set pretty similar levels here, just the highs and lows of the candle, the previous day candle. So if we break today's high tomorrow, then I'll be looking for calls. And if we break the lows that formed today, I will look for puts. Not on SPY and QQQ specifically, but some individual stocks. So jumping into the stocks here, top watch. This was my top watch from today. I did attempt play on this stock here, Palantir. It did not work out. I ended up stopping out. However, if you look, it ended up playing out exactly what I was looking for. Although the market was strong, and I typically don't look for weak stocks while the market is absolutely on a tear like it has been. But for whatever reason, I really like this setup. It was so weak. I was kind of just looking for SPY and QQQ to just kind of pull back and kind of assist this Palantir to dump. And I was just a little bit too early. If I get rid of just some of the noise on the screen, what I was looking for, so we got the break of this level here. So this red line here, if I go back to the daily, that red line is kind of the low of this consolidation area here at around the 130 area. So if I go back to the 10-minute, we broke that level, and then we did retest. Not the craziest flush here. So what I waited for is, I was actually also working at this time, so I didn't even see this happen. But when I started looking at the charts, when I had some free time, I saw this stock slowly creeping back up to this level, and that's really what got me interested. I was looking for some bearish wicks off of this level, and that's when these two candles formed right here. I bought puts as soon as we got close to this level, and I was expecting a nice flush just away from this level. And I even entered a few more puts here when I saw this candle. I thought, it was ready to dump. I just needed a little help from SPY and QQQ, just a little bit of weakness. Our big red candle, while SPY and QQQ were going up, I was just looking for those stocks, the indexes, to pull back to the 9 EMA, just to help this flush off of this level. And instead of that, I was kind of fighting the trend of the market, and this candle formed here. So then I cut immediately. I don't want to break my rules. I followed them. As soon as we were back over this and we closed, I cut it. It ended up being like an 8% loss on that trade, which is totally fine. 20% is kind of my max loss, so 8% is nothing. Then what happened a little later was exactly what I was looking for. And unfortunately, I was away from the charts, got busy at work again. We came back below the level. Once we go above it and we come back and we kind of reclaim this level to the downside, this is kind of, to me, looks like kind of a bull trap here. So this looks like, all right, we trapped some of these some of these buyers on top of the level, and now some sellers are stepping in. And you got a break and then a retest here. I would have entered here or maybe here at the start of this candle, and then you can see not too crazy of a flush, but we do end up coming down to these lows here from the lows earlier in the day, and that was going to be my target. I was just looking for a trade from this 131 level down to around this 129.43 level, and as you can see, it did work out a little later in the day. However, I was away from the charts, just got too busy at work, so I couldn't re-enter. The good thing is I was sizing correctly, so if I was at the chart still, I would have kept an eye on this stock. I would have put Palantir. I usually have 6 charts all up at once. I would have tucked it in the corner, not to be done with it for the day, but I would have kept it and looked for that kind of reclaim of this level. I guess, well, I suppose a reclaim, but breaking back underneath and a flush. And I definitely would have tried to enter there again, and that would have easily flipped my small red day to a nice green day. But that's all right. You win some, you lose some. I can't be at the charts 24/7 while I'm trading at work. So I just try to catch what I can. Definitely gets frustrating. Trading at work is definitely tough, because if you go on a cold streak, you can start to get discouraged. I can only look at the charts so often, so I really I have to be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes I'm attempting my break and retest, and I'm not there at the right moment. So I take the trade, it doesn't work, so I stop out, and then about 30 minutes later, while I'm working and away from the charts, it'll play out exactly how I envisioned it happening. And that's definitely discouraging. However, I have summers off, so I'll be able to trade and be at the charts a lot more, so I can follow my rules and hopefully string together some green trades here. But for the time being, I just have to follow the process and just trust that my strategy works. So kind of back to my watch list here. If the market is weak tomorrow, if we need a little pullback, I will definitely look for a further push to the downside on Palantir. So I'll set my alert to go down. Google was on an absolute tear today. I did have an alert above previous day high, and this is one that I definitely wish I was around for. If I go to the 5-minute here, there was a pretty nice break and retest of pre-market high. Really strong. And then we came back, retested the level, not quite at the level. So I definitely would have kind of hesitated there. I like to enter right on the level when I can. I just want to be as precise as possible. But break and retest of the level there. And I mean, this thing just absolutely crushed it. Rarely do I see a stock break a level and then just continue to hold the 9 EMA for this long. I mean, this didn't break the 9 EMA until 240. That's absolutely insane. Let's see what happened on the 10-minute. Yeah, the 10-minute even cleaner. Just absolutely ripped today. Definitely wish I caught that. I had it in my alerts. Not 100% sure if I would have taken it just because of the little space there. I like to be precise as much as I possibly can, but this was phenomenal today. So we'll look for some continuation tomorrow. So I'll set my alert, previous day high, see if we get some continuation. I definitely like this. We bounced right off the daily 9 EMA, real nice. I mean, look at this candle here. Kind of indecisive, however, we closed above the daily 9 EMA. That's what got me interested. This nice kind of a trend line here. Draw a trend line from here to here. Broke that trend line, and then we just absolutely ripped to the upside, which is awesome. So looking for some continuation, definitely a top watch tomorrow. See if we continue with the strength. NVIDIA earnings next week on Wednesday, the 20th. So I'll definitely be cautious here. I'll continue to set alerts on this stock until next week. Then I'll switch it down to my earnings section, and I'll wait till after earnings to trade it, just because the options just get a little strange before earnings. Apple, another strong one. Top wick. We'll see if we get some continued strength tomorrow. Definitely a top watch. So I'll keep it there. And SoFi. SoFi is another weak one here. I have the bottom of this range mapped out. If we get a break of previous day low, there's not a ton of space here. I definitely would have liked to have caught this one, but let's see if I go to the 10-minute. Wow, 10-minute. Look at that. Look at that level there. Previous day low, the break, and then the retest came back up to my level here. Technically, I guess my level was previous week low, and we did break that, but look at previous day low, and then we absolutely dumped off that. If I get rid of the EMA there. I'm really mainly a level trader, so level to level, break, retest this level here. I would have loved to enter around here. Really what I would have waited for was probably not this candle, just because we're inside of these levels. This is a nice break, and then a retest right here. This would have been perfect, awesome entry, and then just a slow grind lower. That would have been great. And we'll see tomorrow if we get that 1490 area there. With the market being so strong, again, I've been trying to buy puts on some of these weak stocks, which I love the setup. However, oops, go down. I don't know why I'm buying puts when the market is at all-time highs. I don't really know. I don't see the point to doing that. The analysis is there. The levels look great. It's a great setup. All this consolidation, and we broke it, and we're starting to go down. But the play is definitely look for the pullback and long opportunities in this type of market. So I'm kind of fading the trend of the market, which is a big no-no. Kind of tough to do. Okay, moving on. Oracle. Really like Oracle. We're kind of holding this daily 9 EMA really well. We're staying above the daily 50. I'm going to change this alert to previous day high. I really like that trend line that's kind of forming. Let's see if we break the trend line and we continue higher. I would have a target of around this, let's see here, around this high right there. That would be my target. So around, let me get out of here, 200. So I'd be targeting around 215 cents around the high of that trend line there. But let's see if we get a break. And I'm going to actually move this to my top watch. I really like the way that looks there. AMD really like this. Love this consolidation over all the EMAs. EMAs are starting to fan out, which is what I love to see for some continuation to the upside. I think I'm actually going to switch this. Let's see. 458.80 and 459.50. I'm going to switch this to previous day high, just in case we get a break and retest of previous day high, and then we get some extreme strength just to rip through that all-time high there at 469.22. Would love to be a part of that. I'm going to switch that to top watch. MU, another strong one. I'm going to keep my alerts right there, right at all-time high. Let's see if we get a break and retest of that area. I'm going to switch that to top watch. Then we'll go to Intel here. Just yet again, another one. Nice consolidation here. I kind of want to put the alert at previous day high. However, I don't want it to run into this top wick, so maybe I'll leave it there. But this is maybe a little too messy for me. I'm going to leave it in the strong. I'll leave my alert there. I don't love to throw in too many stocks in my top watch, so I might have to kind of weed some of those out. So I'll keep Intel in the strong section here. Tesla, looking for a classic break and retest of previous day high there. I definitely like this one. Once Tesla gets going, it really starts to take off. So let's see if we can get a break and head towards those all-time highs again. These contracts are always kind of expensive, so I really haven't traded Tesla too often. It's a great mover. However, I typically just buy like one contract, and the percentages are the same. It's great. It's a quick mover, but I like to trim while I can, while the stock's moving up. And with that, I really can't because I'm just buying one contract. So we'll see. It would have to be kind of the perfect setup for me to get involved there. Hood just kind of consolidating. I don't really love it. I do have an alert set above Monday's highs at this 81.14 level, we would also be getting above this daily EMA here and these two down here. So the 20 EMA, 50 EMA, and we'd be going up higher. Hopefully, I'd be looking for a play above that level and then see if we can make it up to the daily 20 EMA. Or I may have just said those backwards. Let's see. Oh yeah, play up over the 50 EMA and then head towards the daily 200 EMA there. I think I might have said 20 by accident earlier in this video. Oh well. SMCI, another one, kind of consolidating. Don't love it. If we get back above all the EMAs, then I'll look for an entry, but not crazy about it. Just kind of in between all of these EMAs. Might need to come back down and fill this gap between these two candles first before continuing higher. I did like this off this candle. The very next day I had my alert set at previous day high and I was looking for a break and retest. I actually think I tried this out and then I got stopped out pretty quick. But we're back underneath and inside of all these EMAs, so I'm going to leave it alone. Go on to ARM. ARM, I like the reclaim of the daily 9 EMA. Let's see if we can break and retest previous day high. I'll move this to the top of the strong stocks. Broadcom here, we're underneath the daily 9 EMA. I'm going to leave my alert set at all-time high. Not really looking to get involved. If we're just going to kind of stay inside of this box here is kind of what I'm seeing. I'm going to wait till we get out of that and then away from all the EMAs. So I will move on from that. MSTR. MSTR, another one just kind of in the middle of all these EMAs. Not really interested. So onto the weak section here. So underneath all of the EMAs, we have Microsoft. Microsoft looking for a break and retest of previous day low, where my first target would be this Thursday low from April 30th. See if we can go from 400 down to that 398 area and then possibly fill this gap here. Not a terribly, what's going on here? There we go. So let's see if we get some weakness from the market, and I'll look for it to continue lower. Meta. Meta's another one that I tried playing puts on a little earlier in the week. It was, I did have my alert set for this previous day low, and I played the break and retest of that level. But however, you can obviously see this candle closed strong. Again, big downfall, I believe, is I'm trying to short Meta while QQQ and SPY are at all-time highs and just absolutely ripping every single day. So probably not the smartest move, but that's all right. Kept the losses small, so it's okay. Netflix, I really like Netflix to the downside. Again, probably not going to play it anymore because I'm just sick of losing, trying to short these stocks. But following the daily 9 EMA pretty well. I do love the top wicks. This is a pretty nice setup for the downside if the market is weak and we come back down for a bigger pullback on SPY and QQQ. Set my alert for previous day low. Coin's just kind of flat. Just kind of, to me, what sticks out is just kind of going back and forth, kind of in this box here. Don't love it. We'll see if we can start to trend. Notice all the EMAs just tightly stuck together compared to if I just take a look at Google, all fanned out. All these EMAs fanned out. That's really what I'm looking for when I'm going to trade a stock. Very last one, Amazon. Love the reclaim of the daily 9 EMA. Going to look for a break and retest of previous day high. I really like this one. This one's obviously not weak. Came back above the EMAs here. I'll put this at my top watch. And that will do it. So tomorrow, if we are strong, I'm going to stick with playing the upside. Too many times with getting burned playing the downside in this bull market. It's just not working out very well. So I need to change something up. Still looking for a break and retest. That is not changing. I still love this strategy. However, I'm just trying to fight the strength of the market for whatever reason. Just hoping for some pullbacks to help out some of these weaker stocks, and I'm just not getting what I want. So looking for some strength tomorrow, and I really like a lot of these setups. I should have plenty of time to trade tomorrow while I'm at work. So there you have it, and I'll see you in the next watch list video. Peace.